It's just a bunch of random stuff, so just like pose like this. It's basically just going to be a video I like to call backpacking basics, because that's all I know, and pretty much I'll just be going over the essentials of backpacking. So backpacking is kind of like hiking, it's in the same vein, except instead of just going out for the day, you kind of stay overnight in the woods, you make your own camp site, and it's kind of a multi-day hiking expedition. And usually, you know, you hear about people going on places like the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Coast Trail, and that's something I'm really interested in, so I just decided to make a video on it. So the first real crucial thing to backpacking, and it's probably the most important thing, is location and weather. So as you can see today, the weather is beautiful. It is a bright sunny day out, and there is no rain forecasted, so we should have an excellent time. The second important thing is location. So before you go backpacking, since it's, you know, a multi-day thing, usually today's not going to be multi-day because time constraints, but you have to know where you're going, and because, you know, if you don't know where you're going, then you're literally just going out into the woods into, you know, isolation, so you could be going into really dangerous situations, so it's best to just be completely informed. So today we're going to be going to a couple state parks. I'll explain each of them before we head out there, but yeah, let's go on to the next part, which is supplies. Let's go. Yeah. Alright, so much like any hobby, backpacking requires that you have the right tools for the job, and especially so because you're going to be going out there, and it's going to be really uncomfortable if you don't. So first, probably my most important thing is boots, you know, because you're going to be walking up to, you know, 10 miles a day, and if you don't have good boots, then you're going to get blisters, and you're not going to be having a fun time at all, because you're going to have to walk all the way out. And so I got these boots. They're pretty good. They've done me well. I've walked through rivers with them. Very important. Another important thing is related to food and water. You want to have a good water bottle, and then you want something you can cook your food in. We have some very nice food to cook later on. And this is actually a nice set I got. It's an aluminum cooking set, and it all condenses into this really small package, and it's just got a pan, a pot, the pot lid, and a little serving tray. And also got forks and knives around here somewhere. But yeah, it all condenses. So onto the food, because I could not wait. We have these 3 steaks, one for me and one for each of my fabulous cameramen, who you'll see later on. Bless their beautiful faces. To be honest, related to backpacking, steaks are really not the best thing to be bringing out, because they take up quite a bit of space, and yes, they're delicious, but you could definitely get way more sustainable. This is mostly just a little treat for the video, because everyone likes steaks. And for the more backpacking type food, we have these, I swear I'm not endorsed by Kind, but we have these Kind products that are wonderful, you know, granola, nuts, things like that, chocolate, things that are just, you know, tightly packed calories that you can just eat on the go, are really good. Do the right thing for your body, your taste buds, and your world is their motto. So what else do we have here? We have this poncho, very important if you don't like getting wet, which can be very, it's a lot more important not to get wet when it's really cold out. Right now it's pretty nice out, so not too much to worry about. And then probably the most important supply is this first aid kit. You really don't want to be going out without a first aid kit. It's just is foolish. And then probably my favorite tool, I have my knife here, and I have my knife sharpening stone. And then another useful tool, you could use flint and steel if you really are a survivalist, but I'm gonna use a lighter today to start my fire. I got this Black Widow lighter so that everyone knows I'm really badass and deadly. And then a compass, as always, and I'm gonna have a map of all of the state parks that we go to, just in case, you know, our Nintendos or Xboxes can't get their GPS to work. So yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
Alright, so on the larger side of things, I guess I'll go over my packs first. So I got my little baby pack and I got my big old backpacking pack. I'm going to be using the little baby pack today because, one, I would look pretty weird walking around State Park wearing a fully loaded pack of this, but it can definitely hold quite a lot. This little baby pack, useful for just day trips and stuff like that. So when I go backpacking, I don't like to pack a tent because it can take up a ton of space. So what I like to do is usually make my own shelter, like a lean-to out of a tarp. So here I have this like 15 foot by 15 foot tarp, and it also is pretty large to pack up, but it condenses pretty nice into that pack, and a lot easier than a tent. And then here's my sleeping bag. This also condenses up pretty nicely, but I need to get a new one. They make really nice down sleeping bags that condense to be like yay big, and then you can just stuff them in your pack, and they're great. They're like 0-degree sleeping bags. So these are really, really crucial if you're going to be backpacking. Hiking, not so much. You don't need to bring these at all. But backpacking, the big thing to remember is that you're going to be staying out there overnight, and you know, to survive through the night, some nights, you need to really conserve your heat, and these things are crucial to that. So this is another thing too. If I was actually packing up to go out for the entire night, I would be very conservatively packing this backpack, because you need to really make all of the space count. Right now I'm just going to stuff this sleeping bag and this tarp in here and not really worry how they're fitting. But so you can see I have a lot of straps here in the front. The backpack you use for backpacking is pretty important too, because you're going to be walking so far each day that if you don't have like a nice backpack, your back is just going to be killing you, because you can carry, right now I have a tarp and a sleeping bag in there, so this bag only weighs like 5 pounds, but you can get, once you get all of your actual things in there, it can get to weighing pretty heavy, and so you want a nice backpack. But yeah, and usually I have my sleeping bag in there now, but usually what you would do is there's these straps above the backpack that you can fit a sleeping bag or a sleeping mat in, and then on the bottom, same deal, whichever one. If you put your sleeping bag on the top, you can put your sleeping mat on the bottom. And I don't have a sleeping mat, but basically in the winter it's used to separate you from the cold ground.
It's the rhyme ruler, the mind of the master, the prime poet designed for disaster, a crime candidate, the light heavyweight. I might levitate right through the heaven's gate. Rhymes record break neck spines and vertebrae. Simple and plain like Kanye, I heard him say it's murder one when he murder tracks. I'm a dirt bag flirting with songbirds and Birkin bags.
Hi guys, we are now at Mount Higsby. This is a mountain right off of Route 66, and we're pretty close to the road right now, but eventually we're gonna get up, and at the top of the mountain it'll be a cool view. But this will just be a good example of a nice vertical hike that you would see a lot on backpacking trails. They go up and down mountain paths, and got my walking stick and we're ready to go. things you've probably noticed if you've gone hiking at all is that these trails are always blazed with the blue markers. And that's something that the National Park System just does. And it's definitely very important to follow these trails, unless you know the area. And even then, I wouldn't go off the trails. And so, when you have these trail blazed like this, it means that whichever side the top one is displaced to, that indicates which direction the trail goes. So see this one, the top one is displaced to the right, so that means that the trail curves around to the right. Easy. So another thing is, if you go into any state park or state land, even if it's not state land actually, if you go out in nature, you know, this is nature. We should not be throwing stuff around. So you can see there's a bunch of garbage here, and you know, people making fires where they shouldn't be. So don't do that. Make sure you always make your fires in designated spots and carry in what you carry out. Even if it's biodegradable, don't throw it on the ground because it wasn't there. Don't put it there. Get it, you vape. Remember to stay hydrated. Glug, glug, glug. Time to break out these snacks. Gotta fuel up. Climbed a big mountain, and now it's time to get ready and make sure we can climb back down it. So, there you are, sir.
This video is sponsored by Kind.
Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. So, backpacking is really two parts, mainly hiking and then the camping. So we just went hiking, and that was to give you a little snapshot. That was a shorter hiking trip. We only walked about 1.5 miles. On longer trips, you could walk up to 10 days between campsites on the trail. And then once you get to those campsites, that's where you're actually permitted to camp. Sadly, I live very far from the Appalachian Trail, so probably not going to do any camping there. We can, however, do some stuff in my backyard. When creating a fire, you're always going to want to do a pit. On the Appalachian Trail, and any trail really, when they have designated camping spots, they're going to have these fire pits where you can build a fire. But if there's not a fire pit, all you got to do is clear away any shrubbery that's going to catch fire. I have yet to do this with this pit that we have not used in a while, but it will be done. But right now, I'm just getting really dry wood, which is great since it was so warm out recently. All this wood's really dry, and I'm just piling it up. So we'll see it in a bit. All right, so we got all of our small sticks. We got our fire pit. I've raked away the perimeter so that there is nothing flammable within a couple feet of the fire pit. Make sure you watch the embers, but let's get started. So I have my Black Widow lighter right here. It's deadly. So we're just gonna start with these leaves here, and if any of you have made a fire, you know, you just start out with the little stuff, slowly add on more, and eventually it will be a roaring fire. So I'm just gonna break up some of this little stuff. And the way you would start this fire with flint and steel would be very similar. You would just pretty much you would just strike the flint into this pile of leaves, and then when it catches, you would have all your small stuff nearby, and you would just throw it on and supply it with tons of air. Remember, the recipe for fire is oxygen and fuel, or something. Yeah, because technically, I guess oxygen is fuel as well, but if you feel anything too alive, throw it away. All right, so
you don't want to be.
All right, so now is the moment of truth. I have my tiny pile of sticks and my tiny pile of leaves. It's time to ignite. Blaze! So the key is to light it from multiple points. and make sure that the fire is able to spread to the center. Hopefully I can do that. Everything is really dry right now, so it shouldn't be too hard. Oh yeah. So something really important to building a fire is to just make sure that it consistently has airflow, because once it kind of collapses in on itself, if it's not hot enough, then it's not gonna burn, and you really need that airflow. That's why you see people blow on fires pretty often. You just supply air to the flame. So, just very serious that we contain this fire, because we're right on the edge of the woods, and it is very dry out right now. No rain in the forecast. It is a bright sunny day out, and there is no rain forecasted. Alright, so we got the steak here. Sadly, it was raining, but we got it. It's all there. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very nice. It's not quite a campfire steak, but still delicious. Oh, gosh. I looked away from the camera. Oh fuck. Adam, what are you doing?
He's putting it right in the
try to say something, but I have no idea. So we have so much wind up here that, you know, I'm probably not even going to use this audio, but